So, I want to share with you a story about the MyNikkiCox show. What? Okay, so the MyNikkiCox show. So, I moved to LA, right? And I start working with some people, right? And they're looking out for me. So the director calls me, Otis Salid. He calls me, and he says, "Pete, I have an audition for you. It's for a television show." I'm like, "Oh well, definitely, I'm coming on in." But he was like, "It's the dance thing." My ankle was hurt at the time, so I was like, "Oh man, I really don't want to go in and do a bad job because my ankle is really bad." So I went back and forth on the phone with him, and then finally he was like, "No, just come in, we'll look at it." So I get to the audition, and it's like this giant auditorium full of the most beautiful girls you have ever seen in your life. Like every single kind of beautiful girl. Like you could sit there and just imagine some sort of beautiful girl, and then you could probably find her in the group somewhere over there in the front or in the back. I mean, they were just gorgeous, and the room was full of them. So the combination started, right? And the first group went up. They all were perfect. They all were perfect. I was looking at the crew that were auditioning, and I was just like, "Oh my God, that is hell." Because how are you going to pick even just one of those girls? They all were gorgeous. Nobody should have been cut. And I'm sitting back there warming up, and I'm looking over, and I see maybe one or two guys, and I'm like the only guy sitting back there warming up, okay? So finally the girls are finished, and they picked a couple of girls and so on. And when the guys stood up, it was just like, maybe like 10 of us, right? And I was just like, wow, okay, wow. And so they started the combination, and the combination had this hard hip hop move where I'm grabbing my foot and jumping through, and doing something, whatever. And usually I could do that, but my ankle is bad, So then, I looked at the combination good and all of it, and I really did not want to disappoint Otis. So, after we finished looking at it, I walked over to Otis, and I was like, "Otis, it's okay. I think I'm just going to go because my ankle is really bad." And, he was like, "No, what, Peter? I want you to just do what you can." When that part, I said, he said, "When that part comes, just do something else or whatever." So I was like, "Oh, okay." So I went back out there, and I did the combination again, without jumping over my foot. I did something else, whatever. And, okay. So they was like, "Okay, that's cool, that's cool." And then they broke us down into, well, they didn't break us down into groups. They had us, "This is it, guys. Here we go," right? But at the end of the combination, now, they want us to do 2 counts of 8 of improv. So I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever, here we go." So there we started the combination. Hey, well, yo, the jump over the knee part, I faked it, whatever, we did it. And when the improv part came, I was standing there, and all of a sudden, all the guys just ran to each corner of the room. So I was looking at them like, "Oh, shit, wait, oh." They all left to the corner of the room. I was standing there like by myself, and they just started running at me and flipping, and like everybody was doing gymnastics thing. I was like, "Oh, yo!" So then I used the moment to transfer into what the character that he wanted us to be. He said we were supposed to be mice and roaches and rats at a party, whatever. So then I changed it up, and I was like, and I ran over to the corner, and I crawled over in between the dancers, and I went up in the bleachers, but the thing was, and I hid in that little spot over there, and I was like, and I just, became a mouse or whatever. So the crew was looking like, okay, All right, so whatever. I wasn't trying to be funny. I was just like, well, because there was no room on the floor to do anything. They was all flipping through the air and all of that. So I can't. I don't know what they expect me to do. You know. So the director called us forward, and he picked the guys that he wanted, and then he pointed me out and said that I was the kind of actor he's looking for, because I did exactly what the assignment was. I became, roaches and rats on the floor and, whatever. And he said, and that was what acting was all about. And I got the job. And the MyNikkiCox show, that little bit of experience I had with them was so fly. Yo, that shit. Oh, we had a ball. We made money. Oh, it was the bomb. It was just the bomb. So I wanted to start number 2, Coincidence or Miracle, with a good note. A good story. And we gotta start telling our stories. Whatever. We gotta laugh sometimes. I mean, look at my mouth. Hell, smoking fire smells. And I still struck the struggle. 42nd Street's no more, full of males and female whores. Shops of porns, just take a glance. Sneaky peeks left up to chance. Boobs and boobs to overlook. Raging 20s, hormily hooked. Instinctually knowing the good. The good book. Sex, no rings, bells, ding-a-lings. Church steals, mental intercepting games. Humble and broken, dumbfounded and ousted. Hippies and models and singers and spouses. Control freaks and fanatics. Worldly and shrewd, international and funny. A real motley crew, dynamic and stewing. Handpicked for sure, in your face for realness. For I know that you know testimony can't steal the ridicules of stance the truth reveals. Ridiculous significance, a riddle to many, the mouth will seal. Still think it's funny? Justice, not will. Farrakhan said it nice. And love from Islam with a bean pie slice. Psalms 37 says, fret not thyself. Grammars from heaven is true wealth. Naturally super lean, not to your mind, finite in its makeup. Okay, how do you find the answers? Lit to how and to why. Open and trust. It waits for you.